Francesco Bagnaia's difficult weekend at the Australian Grand Prix at Phillip Island ended in frustration as the Ducati rider crashed out of the race on Sunday, marking yet another challenging chapter in his 2025 season. The two-time world champion opened up about the reasons behind his high-speed crash, offering rare insight into the pressures and decisions that shaped his performance. For Pecco Bagnaia, Phillip Island offered little in the way of fond memories. From the outset, the weekend highlighted the struggles that have characterized his 2025 campaign. The sprint race set the tone, with Bagnaia finishing second to last, more than 30 seconds adrift of the winner, and clocking lap times slower than Iogura, a stark reflection of how far from his usual pace he had fallen. Sunday's race did offer glimpses of redemption, but not without its own drama. Bagnaia's warm-up session had been a dismal affair. After completing just 2 laps, he struggled with a Ducati that felt unstable and unpredictable, ending the session 13 seconds off the benchmark. Nevertheless, the Italian poured everything into the main race. During the Grand Prix, Bagnaia initially looked more competitive than anticipated. He steadily cut his lap times from 1:30 to 1:28 in race conditions and even found himself ahead of Fabio Quartararo at one point. Yet in a fleeting moment, his efforts ended in a high-speed crash. Explaining the incident post-race, Bagnaia candidly admitted the risks he had taken. "The crash was quite hard, but in the end, when you push yourself that hard, it can happen," he said. He further clarified his mindset. "I think in the end, I could have finished 7th after a difficult weekend. That wouldn't have been too bad. You take what you can. Try to find the positives, though there weren't many, but being fast in this situation is still something." Bagnaia's words underline the fine line riders must navigate between ambition and caution. He acknowledged that his efforts to claw back time on the leaders pushed him beyond the bike's limits. "I saw I was closing quickly on the riders ahead, but actually, I was already at the limit from the start. It's hard to ride at this speed, and in the end, I fell because I overextended myself." Technical issues compounded the challenge. When asked whether improvements in the warm-up came from last-minute tweaks with his team, Bagnaia admitted that alternative approaches to the setup had initially worsened the bike's handling. "This morning we tried something in the setup that went very badly. In the race we went the opposite way and the results were slightly better. The bike was slower but more stable. Yet it still moved around too much. I had to constantly correct it. That's something we need to understand because it's genuinely difficult." His frustration with the Des Mercedes GP25's unpredictable nature was evident. When asked about the extreme movement of the bike, Bagnaia simply stated, "It was extraordinary, yes," his tone terse, leaving little room for sugarcoating. Beyond technical factors, Bagnaia also revealed the mental side of his decision-making. Reflecting on his crash, he admitted it was motivated by pride and the refusal to accept last place. Once again, when you reach the limit, crashes can happen. "I fell because I didn't want to finish last again. I'd rather crash 1,000 times fighting for points than finish at the back," he explained. The 2025 season continues to test Bagnaia's patience and resilience. He stressed that the Ducati that brought him comfort and results in Japan felt completely different in Australia. "Fighting to finish 10th will never make me happy. My Ducati is the one I rode in Japan. The GP25 I had in Australia was far from the real Ducati," he concluded. Bagnaia's struggles at Phillip Island are symptomatic of deeper issues within Ducati's GP25 platform this season. While the Italian rider remains capable of exceptional pace, the inconsistency of bike behavior under race conditions is undermining confidence and forcing him to make aggressive, high-risk decisions. The contrast between Japan and Australia underscores how circuit-specific the Ducati setup can be. What works on one track may be virtually unrideable on another. Moreover, Bagnaia's mental approach highlights the pressure elite riders face. His willingness to risk a crash to avoid last place demonstrates competitive drive. but also reflects the fine balance between ambition and prudence. For Ducati management, the message is clear. The bike's stability and predictability must be addressed if Bagnaia is to convert his undeniable talent into consistent results. In short, while Bagnaia's talent remains unquestionable, Phillip Island serves as a stark reminder that even world champions are vulnerable to the unforgiving mix of technical challenge and high-speed risk inherent in modern MotoGP. Ducati now faces the dual challenge of refining the GP25 and supporting a rider desperate to reclaim his rhythm before the season slips further away. Beyond the immediate crash, Bagnaia's performance at Phillip Island raises questions about Ducati's development trajectory this season. Engineers are tasked with balancing raw power and rideability, and clearly there remains a gap between theoretical performance and real-world stability. The GP25, while formidable on paper, still demands near-perfect conditions and a rider operating at the peak of focus and precision, a margin of error Bagnaia could not afford on Sunday. Fans and pundits have also noted that Bagnaia's struggles appear psychological as much as mechanical. After consecutive disappointing results, a pattern of overcompensation emerges, riding beyond the bike's limit in an attempt to salvage points. While his determination is admirable, it may also be eroding confidence in his natural rhythm and smoothness, which are crucial over a full race distance. Interestingly, Bagnaia's crash highlights the contrasting fortunes of Ducati riders this season. While some teammates manage to extract performance consistently, Bagnaia appears caught between experimentation and desperation. This discrepancy may suggest that setup solutions and electronic mapping strategies need more individualization. What works for one rider on the same machinery is not universally effective. Strategically, Phillip Island has always been a circuit that punishes small errors. Its flowing corners and high-speed bends leave no room for hesitation. Bagnaia's admission that he was already at the limit from the start demonstrates the precarious balance required. Push too little and lose positions, push too hard and risk the entire race. This delicate equilibrium defines top-level MotoGP racing, yet it also magnifies the consequences when a bike lacks stability. Another dimension is the championship pressure. Bagnaia is acutely aware that every lost point widens the gap to the leaders. His candid remarks about preferring to crash than finish last reveal the mental toll of chasing recovery after a poor weekend. Such decisions, though courageous, underline the intense psychological burden riders carry, often invisible to the casual spectator.